You are Locked On Tigers POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports Detroit on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, how about that? 2 in a row for the Detroit Tigers. It's like they were made to win 2-1 baseball games. That's right. Scott Harris, revenge game, because the Tigers actually won a 2-1 ball game. But all positive thoughts on today's live edition of Locked On Tigers POSTCAST. Tigers have won 2 in a row and a chance to win a series tomorrow against the Toronto Blue Jays. Welcome one, welcome all. I am your host, Jake Riepma. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake_Riepma. It's always great to be on the air after a Tigers victory in a very fast game. So I know I had a lot of people mentioning that they were at the game, tons of Blue Jays fans at the game, and we'll talk about that. We'll break it down, what it means to go for a series tomorrow. And Reese Olson, finally, one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, does not deserve the 0-6 record by any means, and we've talked about that at length, but finally gets that first win. Thank you, Reese Olson, for continuing to do your thing and not just going nuclear on your teammates for how bad the run support had been. But finally, Reese Olson gets his first win. That feels good to say. We're going to break it all down on Locked On Tigers POSTCAST, and as always, we thank you for making Locked On Tigers POSTCAST your destination for the post-game coverage, news and analysis, opinions, everything you could need right here on Locked On Sports Detroit. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And thanks again for making us your first listen post-game. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course on YouTube, all part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every single day. Today's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. That's right, America's #1 sports book. Make every moment matter more. Right now, you can get $150 in bonus bets for new customers with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 with any winning $5 bet for new customers. All you have to do is visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. And let's say hello to everybody on the YouTube stream, as always, because, again, it's fun when you win. We got to enjoy this. We've got 162 of these games, and it was tough sledding for a while. Last night was another nice victory for the Tigers. They kind of cruised to that win. And today it was a grinded-out kind of win and great pitching. I'll say, I guess, timely hitting, enough offense, the 2-run homer from Kerry Carpenter, and you find yourselves in the win column with a 2-1 win. S-Dog commenting, I guess my cancellation of Bally is providing some good luck. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. A lot of people, it got to that point where you had to cancel your Bally Sports subscription because the Tigers were not putting a product out on the field worth watching. And we've talked at length about the conundrum that is Bally Sports, Comcast, and everything else in trying to provide a way to watch your big league team. And when they're as bad as the Tigers were for a stretch there, I don't blame anybody for canceling that subscription. But that's what we're here for on Locked On Sports Detroit. We got you covered, free and available wherever you get your podcasts, and of course on YouTube every single day. Now let's talk about the win, because I like going through just this opening segment of instant reaction, what we saw, what we liked, what we didn't like. And for a 2-1 game, I think this had a lot of different layers that we can delve on into. We'll start with the Kerry Carpenter 2-run bomb, second straight game with a home run, third in the last 5 games, I believe, but he's seeing the ball well and has been so good against right-handed pitchers. And that's what we knew about Kerry Carpenter. And I see a lot of discussion of, hey, don't you think it's worth having him play every day in the lineup, even against lefties? At least give him a chance. We talk at length about how A.J. Hinch loves his different starting lineup combinations. Now, you never know what the Tigers might throw at you. We got so many utility players that can do a number of different jobs. But I think there's something to be said about some semblance of a consistent lineup day in and day out. And I tweeted this out earlier that I loved today's lineup. I loved Kerry Carpenter. And I know with a righty in the lineup, or right-handed pitcher starting, that Kerry Carpenter is going to find his way in the lineup. But one of the knocks on him coming into this season was his inability to play defense, or a poor outfield defense that Kerry Carpenter played. And he had the outfield assist last night in the first inning, gunning down Guerrero Jr., which was cool to see. And I don't think he's what many deemed as a defensive liability coming into this season and deserves to play every single day. I said this too, I love seeing Mark Canha at first base. Sorry, Torque. I think Torque's in something like an 0 for 19 slump since he had a little bit of success in Phoenix in that weekend series against the Diamondbacks. But baseball's a hard game, and it seems like he's right back to struggling. So I want Mark Canha at first base. I want Kerry Carpenter in the outfield on a more consistent basis. And that's what we saw this afternoon. And obviously a 2-1 win, it could go either way, but the Tigers have lost plenty of 2-1 games or 1-0 games throughout the course of the season. So very, very refreshing to see the lineup go out and get the dub. And that's now 2 in a row and a chance to take the series from the Blue Jays. I also love when the Tigers, or any Detroit team for that matter, wins at home against the Toronto team that just decides to invade the Motor City for the weekend and come on down and make yourself at home like they always do. And it's fun to earn the victory in front of so many visiting fans that are there to see their team lose. So how about that? It feels pretty good. 2-1 win. Tigers now 25-27 on the season, 12-14 at home. Blue Jays in last place in the American League West at 23-28, 11-16 on the road. All right, other things I wanted to get to just in that game recap, kind of the brain dump portion of the program where you watch the game, you see what everything's out there. And as always, comments very, very welcome and encouraged for that matter. So if you got anything to add, feel free to chime on in on the YouTube comments. And if you're catching us afterwards on the on-demand, that is a invitation or an encouragement to catch us live each and every day here following Detroit Tigers games. All right, so Javi Baez, not the best game for him offensively, 0 for 3. His brother-in-law was the starting pitcher, and they talked about that quite a bit on the broadcasts, and he gets hit with the loss today, Jose Barrios. And Javi, he played so well defensively, made a number of important plays that I'm not going to harp on it, but this is not a say something nice about Javi Baez offensively kind of show. He was 0 for 3, grounded into the double play, just not focused at the plate. But to be fair, he did make some really good plays defensively, including that top of the 7th when you had, in the 8th with Foley pitching. We'll get to the 7th in a second, but then made a really nice play on the Justin Turner ground out to conclude that inning. And Canha did a nice play or did a nice catch on the high throw. So some nice plays made defensively. But let's walk through the Reese Olson portion of the game where he pitched around that 1-out triple in the 3rd, was really, really sharp, doing a great job of mixing in pitches, keeping hitters off balance, things that we've become accustomed to seeing from Reese Olson. Now, AJ Hinch, from a managerial side, decided to go with Foley in that 8th inning, and then in the 9th inning to get the save, it was Tyler Holton, and Holton gets his first save of the season with the scoreless 9th. He did allow the 1 hit in the 9th. That runner eventually got to 3rd with 2 outs, but credit to Tyler Holton. And as critical as I've been of AJ Hinch for certain different things, usually it's just how he decides to, be offend or take exception with questions that are not questions worth taking exception of, going back to the competitive statements. We don't need to get into all that, but today I got to give him credit. He dialed up the right bullpen combination for Foley to face the best hitters that the Blue Jays had there in the 8th inning. That was the heart of their order coming through in the 8th inning, and he wanted his best pitcher to face the Blue Jays' best batters. And that's one of the things I guess we've joked about it, but also in a more serious way, that's AJ Hinch's mindset as a manager. He is the pseudo closer, right? We talk about that all the time, but today was an example of it where it worked out. I mean, that 8th inning, you got Foley coming in to face the heart of the order for the Toronto Blue Jays, and maybe got a little bit, it was an example of the Tigers' best pitcher facing the best hitters for the Blue Jays. And yes, he gave up the single to Guerrero, but that's where the ground into the double play comes out at second. And then Springer grounds out to end that frame in the 8th inning, where again, Javi played really well defensively there, so we'll give him credit. But nice pitching from Jason Foley in a tight spot in that 8th inning with a 1-run lead for the Tigers. And then you go to the 9th. That's where Holton comes in. And again, it got a little bit nerve-wracking when you had that IKF double to left, and you eventually got to 3rd. But you get Jansen striking out to end the game, and the Tigers win it 2-1. So all is well that ends well. How many times we talk about that? It's about stockpiling victories, stockpiling series, playing the game the right way. And even though the offense wasn't there because the pitching's been so good, the bullpen was good. That's the identity of this team, and it worked out today. So here we are, Saturday, May 25th, a tip of the cap to Scott Harris. How about that? For as critical as we are, I guess we have to say when the plan works out and the Tigers win the type of games they were created to win. So a 2-1 victory for the Tigers. S-Dog in the comments, Javi reminds me of this generation's Brandon Inge, plus defender, couldn't hit for anything. That's an interesting comment or comparison, player comp, if you will. Inge, I just think they were different hitters. I mean, Javi's just free swinging. We know the pop and the power. He's shown that in the past years in his career, just hasn't been there this year. He's so undisciplined at the plate. I don't think Inge was as undisciplined, but yeah, Inge, awesome player defensively, didn't really bring you much offensively, but they were different hitters offensively, I think. And I'm not going to go back and break down Brandon Inge stats and plate appearances and approach and everything like that, but they were very, very different hitters. But defensively, yeah, there's some parallels to draw there. Demetrius McNeil in the comments, Holton strikeout on a changeup with the runner on third base became the play of the game, in my opinion. And then tomorrow's game, 11:30 a.m. This is early. Yeah, so it's a weird format tomorrow, or weird scheduling note, I should say, that we will talk about at the end of the program. But it's an early game, one of those like Major League Baseball just loves to make it difficult to find your team's games. And so they have this Sunday morning game. It used to be on Peacock. Now it's on Roku. I don't even know if there's still MLB on Peacock, but it's falling into that same syndrome that the NFL has, where you need 40 different subscription plans to be able to watch your team. So yeah, early game tomorrow morning at 11:30 for first pitch. And I believe, I could be wrong, that Jason Benetti's doing the radio call and Dan Dickerson's doing the call for Roku. So I should know more on that, but all we need to know is first pitch is at 11:30. So Tigers get the win on this one. We'll talk about Reese Olson's excellent start. Yet again, good to see him bounce back after leaving that last start against Kansas City early with the line drive off his leg. Seems fine. Went 6 1/3. We'll break it all down. So don't go anywhere. That's our second segment coming up in just a moment. All right, today's show made possible by Ibotta. That's right. Let me tell you all about Ibotta, because you're going to learn something right now. Right here, right now. Ibotta is an app that allows you to earn cash back in return when you purchase everyday items. The spring is here, so it's out with the old, in with the new. And don't splurge on anything new without getting cash back in return when you use Ibotta. That's right. Ibotta is a free app that gives you the most cash back every time you shop on hundreds of items, from groceries to beauty supplies to toys, so you can make sure you're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. That's right. The average Ibotta user earns 256 extra buckaroos a year. That could be you, and that could cover the cost of an entire shopping trip. It could get you tickets to the next Tigers game, since they're playing better baseball right now, and a few pops to go along with it. That's right. Other apps give you points that don't really amount to much. With Ibotta, just add your offers in the app, upload your receipt, and get real cash back that you can cash out into your bank account, PayPal, or gift card. So join over 50 million users, earn cash back every time you shop from over 2,700 brands and retailers, including all your favorite grocery stores, hardwood stores like Lowe's, department stores like Macy's, Sephora, Best Buy, and so much more. And right now, Ibotta is offering our listeners $5 just for trying Ibotta. Use the code On MLB when you register. That's code Locked On MLB when you register. Just go to the App Store or Google Play, download the free Ibotta app, and start earning cash back and use code Locked On MLB. That's IBOTTA in the Google Play or App Store, and use code Locked On MLB. Today's show also brought to you by Supply House. SupplyHouse.com is the only thing you need to know to get supplies from the sites that's made for the skilled trades. SupplyHouse.com. SupplyHouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. You can shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order, get this, delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Anywhere in the U.S., baby. The U.S. of A. Need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business, and talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining SupplyHouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. So join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at supplyhouse.com/TM and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at supplyhouse.com. So Reese Olson, stop me if you've heard this one before, was really, really good once again. It was fun to watch him. It was fun to watch him battle because it wasn't the smoothest, and I'm being picky because there were plenty of smooth innings, but go back to that third inning. I talked about it briefly, but you give up the one-out triple, and all of a sudden keeping the opposition off the board becomes a whole new task, and that's exactly what we saw from Reese Olson. Get out of it and pitch around the one-out triple. Another important out with, he got that big strikeout in the fifth on the changeup to Justin Turner to lead the bases loaded. And Reese Olson, it seems like, and this might be oversimplifying it, but when he needs a big pitch, he has the ability to make that big pitch. And again, that's oversimplifying it, but one of the many signs of a good pitcher is his ability to pitch around the damage and avoid the big inning. And not saying that Toronto had a ton of chances today, but when they did, guess who was there to end the threat? It was Reese Olson executing the types of pitches to get him out of an inning. And like we've said, pretty much every single Reese Olson start, he was deserving of a victory, and today he finally got one. So that's why he's on the thumbnail. We talked about the thumbnail a little bit yesterday, the little graphic that goes up with our Locked On Tigers postcast. Reese Olson deserved to be on it after the first victory of the season for a guy that's just been really, really good on the mound. And hopefully will continue to just battle up there, give his team a chance to win, and this Tigers offense can. It's not like this Tigers offense just hit the cover off the ball and gave him so much run support. I mean, we're talking a 2-run homer in the first inning as the only offense for the Tigers, but Reese Olson was good enough combined with the support of the bullpen to earn that 2-1 win. So again, I jokingly said it, but Scott Harris has just got to be over the moon with a win like this today, jumping for joy in his corner office in his kingdom of Comerica Park, watching this team actually win the type of game that he created this roster to win, or I should say did not boost the offense to be able to win games like these. So I'm not going to focus on that. Today's a good day, 2 wins in a row. We've got a chance for a series win to take 3 out of 4. Reese Olson was really, really good. Let me know what you think in the comments as well, because I tell you what, Reese Olson quickly is doing the types of things that you expect an ace or number 2 of the staff to do. And it's fun to watch him continue to just put the noise aside. Everybody's talking about how good he's been. And I mean, heck, he had the second best earned run average in the American League for starting pitchers coming into today's game. And today was his first win, and it's May 25th. So obviously he has not let that impact his play on the field whatsoever. It's more of just a talking point for bozos like me, and he continues to get it done, which is really, really fun to see. And then we talked about the use of the bullpen a little bit, but while we're talking pitching, it's worth bringing that up again. And I will wear it. Today was a day, some of I'm sure the old takes exposed or freezing cold takes would love to get a hold of my Twitter account today from at times bashing AJ Hinch for not using the traditional closer. And today was a day where you use your best pitcher in that top half of the eighth inning because you're facing the other team's heart of the order, and it works out for you. And then again in the ninth, Holton comes on to get his first save of the season. ESPN.com right now saying the box score saying it's his first save of the season, but I thought they said on the broadcast it was his second save. So don't call me fake news. I'm just reading the box score on one of the credible box score websites in ESPN.com. So don't hold that against me. But that said, really like to see the Tigers pitching staff kind of grab this game by the horns and propel Detroit to victory. And other thing I noted, I guess we can just touch on it right now because it's not really anything of importance, but just a little brain dump for you. The City Connect jerseys were out again today because Reese Olson wanted to wear the City Connect jerseys. And I'm fine with that. That's cool. They actually are starting to grow on me. And I wasn't overly critical, but I kind of gave them that C- meh first grade. But when I first saw them, but I don't know, the more they wear them, I do like them. I just wish they would have sprinkled in orange in some capacity. Like you've got the tire tread through the middle of the uniform. I think it would, I guess it does pop with the electric blue, but the orange would have been more Detroit Tigers-esque for me. Hat's growing on me a little bit. I love a side logo on the hat. Like you see it in a lot of golf hats where you got the logo on the front, something on the side. I think the Spirit of Detroit logo on the side would have been cool, or stick with the one patch that they have that's emblematic of the Woodward Highway signs with the number 1 in the middle and then the 313 kind of shadowing it in that patch. That would have been cool on the side of the hat, but it again, I want to be fair that it is growing on me, but what does it really matter? I care about this team winning baseball games, not the uniforms they wear. But thought it was interesting. Reese Olson wanted to wear the City Connect jerseys again today, and they did, and now they're 2-0 against the Blue Jays in those City Connect jerseys. So I don't know. I'm not superstitious, only a little stitious. We'll see if the Tigers continue to rock the City Connect jerseys. All right, we're going to wrap it up with looking ahead to tomorrow because, again, it's a strange time. We'll go over the pitching matchup and tie a bow on this Locked On Tigers postcast. But before we do that, hey, I've got a good reminder for you that Locked On has launched the first ever 24/7 free sports streaming channel program for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming, except in parentheses there, when the Tigers lose a bad game, Jake screams into the microphone. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't miss analysis, opinions, and news streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. All right, we'll tie a bow on this one and look ahead to tomorrow with a chance to win the series. That comes your way in just a minute. All right, today's show brought to you by FanDuel. That's right, America's #1 sports book. And right now, it's winner take all time in the NBA and NHL with the conference finals going on. Boston just running away with that series against the Pacers on the hardwood. Mavs take a 2-0 lead after that step back dagger from Luka Doncic in Rudy Gobert's face last night. That was cool to see. And anyways, you can be a part of the action as well. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's right. This is for new customers. $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, and so much more. All you have to do is visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make every playoff shot count. FanDuel is America's #1 sports book. Let me tell you that one more time. America's #1 sports book. All you have to do is visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make every playoff shot count. Tigers win this one 2-1. They are now 2 games under 500 at 25-27, 12-14 at home, and a chance to go get a series for what feels like, it hasn't been that long because they technically took the series against the Arizona Diamondbacks over the weekend, a week ago. But it would be nice to get 3 out of 4 against the Toronto Blue Jays when you had that 5-game losing streak sprinkled in the middle. So that's what we're rooting for tomorrow. Again, strange time with the game coming your way at 11:35 Eastern Daylight Time, with Casey Mize scheduled to take the start. 1-3 on the season, 4.57 ERA, 34 strikeouts. And this game is on Roku. Again, I wish Major League Baseball just made it a lot easier. I don't have any control over that, but hey, it's an earlier start, so that's about all we can say with that. It'll be interesting to see the lefties going for the Toronto Blue Jays, so we'll see what AJ Hinch's mastermind can create for that matchup against the lefty for Toronto. And even though, again, a chance to win 3 out of 4, even though the Tigers had that little 5-game losing streak in the midst of this, we talk about it all the time. It's a long season, 162 games. And I think the focus point right now has to become just surviving to the All-Star break. So, the All-Star break doesn't come around and you're 10 games out, something that's reachable to maybe a 3 or a 4 or 5 game lead for whether it be the Guardians, Royals, as those two battle it out. And the Twins, obviously, they've been inconsistent all season, but just surviving and continuing to stockpile series wins has to be the mindset. And I'm sure that is. And again, it's that fine line between valuing each and every game, each and every at-bat, each and every out, to understanding that this is a marathon, not a sprint. And I just selfishly, as a Tigers fan, all of us, we deserve this team to be competitive because it's been so long. It's been such a long time since we've seen meaningful baseball at Comerica Park down the stretch. And I know I'm not alone in saying we would give just about anything for that. All right. Real quick, I want to run through the box score of this one. 2-1 Tigers win over the Blue Jays. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to Locked On Sports Detroit. It doesn't cost you anything. And hey, set some alerts up too so that you know when we go on the air. Tell your Tiger friends about it because we love to make this interactive. The more the merrier. Come one, come all. So Olson gets the win. He's now 1-5 on the season. And the loss goes to Jose Barrios, who happens to be Javi Baez's brother-in-law. They are married to, or their wives are married. No, let me say that again. Their wives are sisters. That they married. That's what I was getting at. That was difficult. I'm glad we worked through that. But 2 hits for Mark Canha. Love seeing him in the lineup at first base. Sorry, Torque. Like you just, it's nothing personal, and I don't know how long this needs to be the plan, but I put it out there on Twitter. I would love to see Mark Canha continuing to play first base. There's more depth in the outfield that can be spread around than giving Spencer Torkelson everyday opportunities when he's not an everyday player. That first base position should be maintained by Mark Canha for the immediate future, in my opinion. 2 more hits for Kerry Carpenter, including that 2-run homer. 2 hits for Gio Urshela and Colt Keith. Yes, he had a hitless day today, but from the DH spot, didn't mind seeing him there. Zach McKinstry playing second base. I like the idea of having more flexibility with the lineup in terms of that DH spot, but I want to see Kerry Carpenter continuing to get everyday opportunities and see what he can do against the lefty tomorrow. So we'll see if he's in the lineup. It will be interesting to see, but that's going to do it for me. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, a chance to win a series for the Tigers tomorrow. Take 3 out of 4 from the Blue Jays. That would mean a lot. And we got some people joining late on the YouTube. Want to make sure I shout everybody out that's on the YouTube. Dan Fedrosi, 2 in a row. Break up the Tigers. Yeah, look out, as my great friend Craig Monroe would say. Simo, here comes the Tigers. Yeah, seriously, though, it's been good to see some good baseball being played at Comerica Park. Mary Jo Isaacson, Kerry Carpenter's biggest fan. Yay for Carpenter. I think they were down at the ballpark again today. Mary Jo, you guys got to keep going to those games because obviously you're the good luck charm for the Tigers and Kerry Carpenter. So all the Blue Jay fans that tried to take over Comerica Park today, this one's for you. A 2-1 victory for the Detroit Tigers. They've now won 2 in a row and a chance to take 3 of 4 tomorrow. Early start tomorrow. That's right. 11:35 first pitch. I remember last year, I was covering the Tigers this game and totally forgot about the early start. That snuck up on me. So don't let it happen to you. Early start tomorrow. We'll be on the air immediately following. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, make sure you check out Locked On Tigers with Scott Bentley. Subscribe to Locked On Sports Detroit. All kinds of Tigers coverage coming your way, and it's all free for you because we love you and we care about you. So we'll see you next time on Locked On Tigers POSTCAST. Tigers get the win. Reese Olson gets his first win of the season. This is fun. Talk to you next time on Locked On Tigers POSTCAST.